everyone, and welcome to the Healeyverse Creations. Today I'm going to be making something medieval from a hoodie. So here I have this old hoodie of mine. Don't really wear it anymore. Steal my husband's now. So I'm going to turn it into a medieval cowl. I'm also going to make the sleeves into something for the legs. But since my husband and I are both building out our medieval fantasy garb, I'm gonna need two hoodies. So, not only am I making two, I'm making two different styles. So first I want to shout out Living Anachronism. Kramer is the one who gave us the idea for just using hoodies to make medieval garb. We had these lying around and we decided we'd be willing to sacrifice them to make some cool stuff. So follow along. I will be making leg things for each of us in a separate video, but for today, I'm making medieval cowls. So to do this creation, I'm going to obviously need the hoodies along with some good quality fabric shears, a ripper, fabric tape measure, chalk for marking, and pins for securing everything in place. And of course, where would I be without my trusty assistant, Goku? First step is just to remove the sleeves, which I'm doing by using a seam ripper to cut the threads, leaving as much fabric as possible. For measuring out the cowl to cut, I tried to use as much material as possible. The headache that I have with the lettering on mine is an absolute nightmare, but I end up cutting a little bit shorter. I tried to leave as much fabric as possible, going to the very edge of the shoulders. As far as the measurements, I believe it was 7 inches down and then approximately 4 inches on the shoulder. Naturally, Goku needed to join me. Once I was happy with my markings, I just pinned both layers together to get an even cut. What's not shown is everything that I tried to do to get the lettering off of the hoodie before I finally gave up and just decided to cut it off, and that it would be fine if it was a little bit shorter in the front. For my husband's cowl, he wanted a triangular version, so that just meant marking the lowest point he wanted in both the front and the back one being longer, which just meant I cut from the back first and then trimmed the front down shorter. The triangular shape made it loads easier to mark the lines I wanted instead of trying to find a curve. One thing that we should have done is had my husband try it on at every stage of the trimming process. We ended up cutting it a lot smaller than we intended. It was a learning curve, but I now know for the future, and it still came out nice. Something else worth noting is that just measuring on someone's body does not necessarily denote how a garment is going to fall on their body. So try it on as much as possible. We cut far too much off here. Next up is sewing, which I'm not going to linger on for very long. I simply did a blanket stitch around the cut edge of both cowls. If you want a tutorial on how to do the blanket stitch, leave it in the comments and I will gladly do it. clearly it's a different day. Huh. Took me a lot longer than I thought to finish the hoods. And they're not done, but they're done enough. So, did you want to say hi? I talked about how I was going to do 2 different styles of hood. Going into this, I think my biggest piece of advice is cut big. You can always make it smaller. You can't make it bigger. Technically, the first hood I finished was the gray one. And I made it a lot smaller than I thought it was gonna be. A cowl's really meant to be a bit more over your shoulders, more down, to give you that layer of protection under a cloak. But you know, it's still not bad. So this one is the one for my husband, which I think goes pretty great with the Rwanda cloak I made him, that I naturally didn't film the process of making of, because I am... Because we're good at that. I'm the most clever. But I just took an old blanket and cut it and seamed it. If you want how to make a Rwanda cloak, I'm probably going to make another, so it's fine. But it works. There's no gaps where rain can get in. You're protected. And it, I think, looks pretty nice. My hood, I decided to go with a more rounded bottom, just because the V felt a bit sharper. And so I ended up having to cut a bit higher than I intended, because nothing I tried on the lettering would get it off. I tried a heat gun, I tried a knife blade, I tried crying. It didn't work. So it's a little higher than I'd intended, but it covers my shoulders nicely. It goes down far enough in the back. Again, goes pretty well with the cloak. Fashion. I would say, having done the process, the biggest takeaway is just leave yourself more space. I did end up doing a blanket stitch, as you saw, all the way around on each of them. We want to do a couple things to make the hoods look even less modern. For instance, I cut the little toggles off of my husband Matt's hood. I haven't done that with mine. I'm not sure what I want to do with them. But we have a couple ideas, so we'll probably make another video of making our hoods look more authentic. But as a start, to go from a hoodie to having a medieval cowl, it's pretty easy. If you have any questions about the whole process, leave them in the comments below. If you liked this and want to see more, like and subscribe. Just like it, okay?
And subscribe.
And subscribe. Come on. If you want to support us, we do have a Patreon. We're going to put more like behind the scenes kind of stuff up there. If all you can do to support us is like and subscribe, that's perfectly fine. We appreciate everything you do. Let us know what else you want to see. Obviously, I need to film more tutorials when I make things, because this cloak is really cool. I feel like it's taking the glory away from the hood.
Now you can't have it.
The hood. It's so nice. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this creative process, if that's what you want to call it. And hopefully see you soon.